Cows are getting ready to calve. Got some that are getting pretty close and probably going to be checking cows all hours of the night for the next month and a half. But I have to get something for devotions this morning, and I was thinking of Psalms 95. And I want to read you 2 verses here and talk to you about that really quick. It says in verse 4, "In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills also are his. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land." So I was watching a little documentary last night about this scientist talking about continental drift. And it was so interesting because continental drift is something that not all scientists believe in, but some do, and some Christian scientists also. But he was showing a computer generated picture of all the continents sliding back together, and they fit perfectly like a great big jigsaw puzzle. And he even asked the question, like, how does that happen? Like, how does solid land do continents drift apart? Because they're not floating, they're attached to the earth. And he said for years they suspected something like that, but they couldn't prove it. But he said then after World War I, they started exploring a lot of the deep places of the ocean, and they kind of realized that between every big continent there's a deep trench, like the earth may have opened up almost like a piece of popcorn would come apart. And the other, I guess the last nail in their theory was there's bands of fossils that run through the continents, through all the continents. Like there'll be a band of fossils that they're finding from a certain species, tend to run in long bands. And if you slide the continents together and then move to the next continent and continue that, the fossils continue to on through that next continent. And that's a real wonder. Like, how can that be? So there's a lot that we don't know about creation. God told us what he wanted to know. We believe the Genesis account for sure, but the Genesis account doesn't explain it very well as far as what actually took place when God separated the dry land from the water, from the deep, he called it. And then the other question that rises is, what about the fossils? They wouldn't have been there then if there was nothing created before these continents were separated. So those are all questions we have. We'd like to know answers to, but we don't get to. At least not in this world. But we accept by faith that God is true. What he says is true, and he gave us enough that we can make it home to where he is, and I think at that point maybe he'll explain the rest. The thing I want to bring out of all of this isn't the answers, because I don't think the answers are necessary. What's necessary is that we bless the Lord at all times, and his praise continually be in our mouth. That's David's recurring theme all the way through the Psalms. I will bless the Lord at all times. So let's do that in our speech today as we go to worship with our friends and loved ones and brothers and sisters and enemies. We worship the Lord. It's not about us. It's about God. And we all have our things that have happened in life, our hurts, and our wounds we carry in ourselves, the scars from things. And that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is that we press in and worship God, and we'll look back on this journey here as, I think, with interest at some point, because it's gonna be a part of where we're gonna be and how we're gonna see it all. So have a great day. God bless you. I love you. Have a good Sunday.